Have you ever been tempted by a new job and thought, maybe this is exactly what I need, only to wonder a few days later if you were just reacting to a hard week? That is the tricky part about job changes. Sometimes a new opportunity really is the right move. And sometimes it just looks better because your current role feels frustrating, exhausting, or stale in the moment. A lot of people assume that if they feel restless, unhappy, or overlooked, the answer must be to leave. But not every job change is an upgrade. Some are just a change of scenery, some solve the wrong problem, and some look exciting at first, but cost you more than you expected once you get there. That is what we are talking about today. Today's episode is about how to know if a job change is actually worth it, because changing jobs can absolutely be the right move. It can bring better growth, better pay, better leadership, better alignment, and a healthier future. But it can also become a very expensive emotional decision if you are moving for the wrong reasons or evaluating the opportunity too narrowly. Before we dive in, I've included links in the description to free resources that can help you grow in your communication, leadership, and confidence at work. And if you want to go deeper into strategic thinking and career decisions, you can also check out my book, The Strategy Blueprint, a step-by-step guide to building your company's strategy, available now on Amazon. Now let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Work Chat, where we help you navigate the modern workplace with more clarity, confidence, and influence. And today, we're talking about one of the biggest career questions professionals face at some point. Is this job change actually worth it? Because a lot of people know how to tell when they are unhappy. What is harder is knowing whether a new job will genuinely make things better, or whether it is just giving you something new to focus on. And that distinction matters, because job changes are not just about salary, they are not just about titles, and they are definitely not just about escaping discomfort. A job change is worth it when it improves the bigger direction of your life and career, not just your mood for the next 2 weeks. So let's talk about how to think about this the right way. First, be honest about what problem you are actually trying to solve. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They say they want a new job, but what they really want is relief. Relief from a bad manager, relief from boredom, relief from being overlooked, relief from exhaustion, relief from politics, relief from feeling stuck. Now, those are all real reasons to pay attention, but before you jump, you need to get specific. What exactly is not working in your current role? Is it the work itself, the compensation, the leadership, the culture, the lack of growth, the lack of flexibility, the workload, the values mismatch? Because if you are not clear on the actual problem, you are much more likely to choose a new job based on surface-level appeal instead of real fit. And when that happens, people often recreate the same frustration in a different building. So before you decide whether the move is worth it, ask yourself, what am I really trying to get away from? And just as importantly, what am I genuinely trying to move toward? That clarity matters. Second, look beyond the title and salary bump. This is a huge one. A lot of job changes look attractive because they come with a better title, more money, or a more recognizable company name. And those things do matter. But they are not enough on their own. A job can pay more and still be a worse fit. A title can sound better and still put you in a weaker long-term position. A well-known company can still give you a poor manager, a bad team environment, or the wrong kind of work. That is why smart professionals ask a bigger question. What am I actually getting in exchange for this move? Yes, maybe the salary is higher, but what about the pace? What about the expectations? What about the stability? What about the team quality? What about the learning curve? What about the leadership? What about the hours? What about the trade-offs at home? A job change is worth it when the full package is meaningfully better for the life and career you want, not just when one line on the offer letter looks better. Third, ask whether this move builds the kind of career you actually want. This is where career strategy comes in. Not every attractive opportunity is strategically aligned. Some jobs offer short-term excitement, but take you sideways in a way that weakens your long-term direction. Others may not look flashy, but they give you exactly the kind of experience, visibility, skill building, or network that compounds over time. So one of the best questions you can ask is, if I take this job, what does it position me for next? Does it make you more credible, more marketable, more promotable, more specialized, more versatile, closer to the kind of work you want to be known for? Or does it just feel good because it is different? That is a very important distinction, because a job change should not only solve today's discomfort, it should strengthen tomorrow's options too. Fourth, pay attention to who you will be working for and with. People underestimate this all the time. They spend hours thinking about compensation and responsibilities, but not nearly enough time thinking about the human environment they are walking into. And the human environment matters a lot. A strong manager can accelerate your growth. A weak manager can drain your confidence. A healthy team can make a demanding job sustainable. A dysfunctional team can make even a great role feel miserable. So if you are seriously considering a move, do not just ask, do I like the role? Ask, who will I be learning from? Who will be evaluating me? What does this team seem to reward? How do people communicate? What happens when things get hard? A job change is often less about the role description and more about the people system you are entering. And if that system is unhealthy, the move may not be worth it, no matter how attractive the opportunity looks on paper. Fifth, separate temporary frustration from deeper misalignment. This is one of the hardest parts of career decision-making. Sometimes you want to leave because the season is hard, but a hard season is not always a bad job. Maybe your company is going through change. Maybe your team is understaffed. Maybe your workload is temporarily intense. Maybe you had a rough quarter. Maybe your motivation is low because life is heavy, not because the role is wrong. That does not mean you should ignore your feelings, but it does mean you should interpret them carefully. Ask yourself, am I reacting to a temporary low point, or is this a consistent pattern? If this season improved, would I still want to leave? Have I already outgrown this role, or am I just tired right now? Those are different realities. And if you confuse a hard chapter with a permanently bad fit, you may leave too soon. Sixth, know what you would regret more, staying or leaving. Sometimes the clearest question is not, is this job perfect? It is, what will I regret more 6 months from now? Will you regret staying in a role that is limiting your growth, underpaying you, or draining your energy? Or will you regret leaving a situation that still had valuable upside, strong people, or unfinished learning because you moved too fast? This question matters because career decisions are rarely made with perfect certainty. At some point, you are choosing between imperfect options. And when that is true, regret can actually be a very clarifying lens. Because sometimes the move is worth it, not because it is risk-free, but because staying is costing you more than you want to admit. Seventh, a job change is worth it when it creates stronger alignment. Not just more excitement. This is probably the biggest takeaway of all. A lot of people chase energy. They chase novelty. They chase the feeling of being wanted. They chase the rush of something new. And again, that is human. But excitement is not the best decision-making framework. What you really want is alignment. Alignment between the role and your strengths. Alignment between the opportunity and your values. Alignment between the pace of the job and the life you want. Alignment between the next move and the future you are building. Because excitement fades, but alignment tends to hold. And when a new role gives you better alignment, better growth, better leadership, better compensation, better values fit, better lifestyle fit, better career direction, that is usually a much stronger sign that the move is worth it. So if you are trying to decide whether a job change is actually worth it, here is the real takeaway. Do not evaluate the move only by how good it looks from the outside. Get honest about the problem you are trying to solve. Look beyond salary and title. Ask what the move positions you for next. Pay attention to the manager and team. Separate temporary frustration from deeper misalignment. Think about what you would regret more. And focus on alignment, not just excitement. Because the best career moves are not always the loudest ones. They are the ones that make your work life stronger, clearer, healthier, and more aligned over time. And that is what makes a job change actually worth it. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you want more practical support, I've included links in the description to free resources on the website, along with my book, The Strategy Blueprint, a step-by-step guide to building your company strategy, available on Amazon. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to the Work Chat for more practical conversations on workplace communication, leadership, confidence, and navigating the modern world of work. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think makes a job change truly worth it? I'll see you in the next episode.